Hey guys, T-Bone here. Today's video we are talking about the wild area events and everything you need to know. And as a player that played in the in-person event, here are some tips and tricks that I think will be really helpful when it comes to the global event. Now, first things first, and now let's talk about probably the most important thing, or at least one of the most important things, and the most asked question I've had on stream probably the last couple of days in the comments is, what adventure effect should I use during the event? Both are very good options, but let me talk to you about both of them. Because first, we start off with Palkia, and we go here to my, beautiful shiny 98 Palkia. But we got ourselves Spatial Rend, and of course, it manipulates for 10 minutes the distance that you can see Pokemon at a time. So, one of the priorities I would say is take advantage of earning candies for both Palkia and Dialga during the week. Do raids, catch them, and all that kind of stuff leading up to the event, so you have the candies to use in the event, so you have longer time on these adventure effects, because Palkia, for example, it takes 60,000 Stardust and 60 candies for about 2 hours, so just make sure you have enough candies to properly, prepare yourself for that. But Palkia, let's talk about that, because honestly, Palkia is not a bad option at all to use during this event, because you'll be able to see more wild Pokemon, therefore get more shinies and see more mighty Pokemon, which we'll talk about in a little bit, because mighty Pokemon are a big part of this event and a really important part of this event that you do not want to miss out on. So let's talk about then first, before we get to the mighty Pokemon, is Dialga, because before I talk about which one you should use, I want to show you off both of them, because where's Roar Time? There it is. Roar Time. We got ourselves right here, pausing the timer on the Lucky Egg, Daily Incense, and Star Piece. Now, this is very good for a big event like this, because you can get yourself Star Piece and Lucky Egg for the entire event, an event where we're going to be raiding heavily, so just that Stardust and that XP is amazing. But we all know Daily Incense is one of the big things right now. Shiny Galarian birds are in the game, and the reason why this is extra good is because Safari Balls are allowing you to catch the Galarian birds at an easier rate. Trust me, they are green circles if it's under like 500 CP, orange circles even. I had a 3,000 one that was an orange circle. It's absolutely insane. So if you don't have any Galarian birds, I would definitely at least run your 15-minute daily, but also maybe consider extending it for a little bit. Personally, I think I'm going to do half and half. I think I'm going to do a big Daily Incense and a lot of Spatial Rend hunting mighty Pokemon, and I'm going to be doing a ton of raids throughout that whole time, because yeah, I love raids, and I would love to get a bunch of raid shinies and all that kind of stuff. We'll talk about that a little bit later with the backgrounds, but we got ourselves just a tough question to ask. It's basically, what do you want to do the most? Do you want more Galarian birds? Are you missing Galarian birds in Pokemon Go? Have you not caught them? Do you want the shinies? That kind of stuff. Being able to extend the Daily Incense, get your Stardust, get your XP, all that kind of stuff. Very good, very good. But Spatial Rend will help you get more mighty Pokemon, which are very important in this event. Well, again, that's the next tip and trick that I'm going to talk about, but also going to help you get so much more, just like be able to get yourself, double encounter distance, more catches, more Stardust, all that kind of stuff. So it's honestly really, really a tough decision between the two, and honestly, I'm quite split. But let's talk about mighty Pokemon next, because these things are absolutely insane. Now, I'm going to go show you right now Snorlax, the Garchomps, all that kind of stuff that I caught this weekend. You can see Garchomp, you can see this guy, you're like, wait a second, that was caught in the wild, Tony? That is 4,000 CP. This is not powered up once, and you can see that he's pretty darn good, right? And this guy right here, 4,193, was also caught in the wild. So yes, you can see they have insanely high CPs. And not only that, I have this right here, the Should Know Snorlax, but this won't be a mighty Pokemon in the event. Unfortunately, this will be a raid exclusive Pokemon. We'll talk about raids in a little bit as well. But the fact that you can catch Pokemon, as you saw, that was a level 50. I caught it as that. You can catch Pokemon up to level 50 in the wild. This is one of the craziest features they've ever added to the game. And the reason why this is so important is Pokemon trainers, like Pokemon players that are maybe level 31, 32, just getting back in the game, need counters. Being able to catch a Pokemon that is nearly level 50 in the wild without even having to power it up is absolutely just mind-blowing that this is possible. So I'm just so happy for people that don't have maybe as good counters for raids, or also just people that like high CP Pokemon, people that like these Pokemon and want them shining in the wild, and now they're high IVs and just the better chance of getting a Shundo. It's amazing. So let's also talk about mighty Pokemon's base IVs, because in the in-person event, it was 13, 13, 13 floor. Yes, 13, 13, 13 floor. This is why I was getting so many hundos. I got about, I think, 15 hundos during the event out of the mighty Pokemon. It was absolutely insane. So you have a higher chance at hundo, which means you have a higher chance at shundo. But what do I think they're going to do for the global event? Now, I'm not 100% sure they're going to do 13, 13, 13 floor. The rumor going around, at least from what I saw what happened with Randy, a good friend of mine, is he caught one after the timer, and it was at 10, 13, 10, which means it might have 10, 10, 10 floor for global, but we don't know, right? That hasn't been confirmed because we haven't played the event. But good news is I'll be able to let you know on Friday afternoon. I will be streaming the event live here in Tokyo, and we'll obviously have the event before the United States. So if you're in the United States or Europe, you'll be able to tune into my stream and ask me, let's say right before your event, hey, what was the IV floor? Or even the day before the event, if you're in the US, Friday, you can be like, hey, you'll be able to watch and be like, hey, is this what's happening? Da-da-da. And I'll be able to answer you the question because we'll know officially, right? But this video is going out a couple of days before that, so obviously I don't have all the answers right now. But I will say, I absolutely love mighty Pokemon. These things are absolutely insane, so take advantage while you can because they're super high CP, super high IV, and great potentials at hundos and shundos for all of you guys. So wishing you guys the best of luck on that. But next up is going to be raids and which Pokemon you want to do the most. Now, one thing I have is a problem with Dialga and Palkia. As you can see right here, I'm going to show you guys hundos for Dialga and Palkia. And you're going to be like, Tony, you have multiple hundos. Are you going to even do any raids? Yes, I am, but also pain. I'm just going to show you guys this right here. You can see Hydro Pump on Palkia, and you can see Thunder on Dialga. Now, my only problem with this event is you cannot get the moves guaranteed. Yes, the moves are not guaranteed, and it's a little bit frustrating. I can't lie to you guys. It is a little bit frustrating seeing these moves not be guaranteed because I have both hundos without the moves. I actually have 3 hundos without the moves because I have the background hundo as well. But I will say it's still very worth it to do these raids because Spatial Rend and Roar Time are very important. And if you get a good one with the move, that'd be absolutely amazing because they're actually really good in PvP and in raids as well. But as well as if you get a bad shiny with the move, for example, you can lucky trade that in the future. So it's always good to hunt these things. But what else is coming to the raids that actually wasn't in the in-person event? Primals. Yes, Primals are not only really difficult raids, but they are also very strong. Groudon is currently the second best Pokemon in the game in terms of DPS, only behind Mega Rayquaza. We know how good Mega Rayquaza is. We know how good Groudon is. This is one I would definitely recommend doing, but I would also recommend doing Kyogre because Primal Kyogre is also super, super, super strong. So both are really, really good, and I would recommend both. Now, Kyogre is a little bit more difficult to take out. Groudon you can take out with the Kyogre. You know, it's like a couple people. I think 5 people is pretty safe for that. Kyogre, you probably want 7, 8 maybe, just to be safe, depending on your trainer level, but have a lot of fun with it, get the shinies and all that kind of stuff. But I will say Primal Kyogre and Groudon will be helpful with this new raid feature that you can join from your friends list. If you haven't realized until now, this is, just happened today, like just released today. If you go to your friends list, you can go in a raid, and you're like, wait a second, I can go in a raid. What does that even mean? It's a new section in the friends list, and you can see if somebody's in a raid and join them. Yes, you can just join a raid. You don't have to be invited anymore as long as you're great friends on the friends list. And this feature is absolutely mind-boggling. I cannot believe how good this feature is. And if, for example, if I join somebody's raid, somebody that I am friends with can join that raid as well, and then somebody from their friends can join, and it's just a wave of raid invites. And it's just so amazing because we're gonna have unlimited remotes for global. So many raids will be done. So many raids. But let's continue back on to this, because which raids should you prioritize? In my opinion, it depends what you're going to use it for. Because personally, I think Dialga and Palkia should, prioritize because you need the candies to make sure to use the power-ups of the Roar Time and Spatial Rend in the future. But you also want ones good with the move and shinies, of course. But Primal Kyogre and Groudon are really good raid attackers. If you don't have good ones, I would at least prioritize a little bit of Groudon and a little bit of Kyogre because they're very good. But there's a Pokemon I'm missing out because we got ourselves Toxicity and Snorlax that are in raids. You're like, Tony, what should I do with these? Well, I'll tell you this. Snorlax, beautiful Pokemon in the costume. So rate it. Get the shiny costume. Do what you got to do to get that shiny costume. It is a beautiful shiny costume. I would definitely recommend rating it. But besides Snorlax, Toxicity. How good is Toxicity? Well, it's an average PvP Pokemon, but it's really cool looking. I really love it. So I would recommend going for the shinies. If you're a shiny collector, try to get one of each because it's also got a really good shiny. But I would recommend maybe, if you can, do the Gigantamax raids first, because I would say fall back on the other raids if you can, because I would say the Gigantamax raids should be your number one concern, just because I think they're just a little bit better. I don't know, in terms of like, if you could do those and get them done, you should be able to just get your toxicities and your shinies, and might as well get the Gigantamax shiny rather than just the normal shiny. But one thing I will say, Gigantamax toxicity, let's talk about it. It is difficult. Yes, I will be honest with you guys, it is a lot more difficult than Gengar was, at least on the difficulty scale. We definitely had problems with it. If it has discharge, it is very difficult, and if it has power punch, it can be annoying, because the Pokemon you're going to want to use is Excadrill and Metagross. Those are your two big Pokemon you want to use. Metagross has the Psychic typing, which is super effective, and Excadrill has the Ground typing, which is quad effective. So make sure you use that. Metagross also learns Earthquake if you want to give it that as well. Give it a second move potentially, so it has Psychic and Earthquake. You could choose to use both. I don't know, up to you. But make sure to prepare yourself. Maybe find a raid group and a meetup for these toxicity raids, because trust me, you won't be able to do it with a couple people. I know it's quad week. I expected it to be easier. It was difficult. Or maybe there was just low-level trainers using, and they saw lobbies of 40, they didn't use their big stuff. I don't know, but I'll tell you this, it was very difficult over in Fukuoka. So, cannot lie, I'd prepare for these mentally. Honestly, I'm going to be honest. But let's talk about one more thing, the backgrounds. Yes, so you probably wondered, where are the backgrounds? Maybe throughout this week, like I did a little bit, because I'm like, I can't lie, I thought the backgrounds were released a little bit early, but they didn't. So I'll throw up on screen what the background looks like, and honestly, I absolutely love it. This background will pop up on all of the legendaries and raids. I'm not sure about the Snorlax, that hasn't been confirmed yet, or the toxicity, so we'll have to see live if that is a thing or not. But I will say all the legendary raids do have this background, and I want to get one of each of them shiny in it. That would be absolutely amazing. So what do I recommend about backgrounds? I'd say due to your means. I mean, if you plan on doing a lot of raids, you're going to get the backgrounds anyways, and potentially a shiny background. Shiny backgrounds are really, really rare, so this is something I would recommend grinding for, just if I'm being completely honest. But we move on to the spawns, and I'm going to be honest, the spawns are really exciting, but we already talked about mighty Pokemon, and those are the most exciting parts. Now, what Pokemon spawn on which day? Let's talk about that. And here are our spawns. With the mighty Pokemon, you can see there's two different sets. On Saturday, we're going to get Pidgeot, Golem, Gyarados, Luxray, Scolipede, Galvantula, Tyrantrum, and Toxapex. My big goals, Tyrantrum, because I want a wild shiny Tyrantrum, and Gyarados. But in terms of usability, Gyarados is really the big one. Toxapex does have PvP IVs, but with these up floors, it's not really important. And Galvantula might actually be good to get as a hundo, so maybe catch that. Then we move on to Sunday. You got Dragonite, Mamoswine, Electivire, Electros, Dragalge, Feraligatr, Poliwrath, and Venusaur. Now, there's some big ones in here. Poliwrath, good in PvP, although, again, the up floor IVs. Same with Feraligatr, up floor IVs, but it's actually good in PvP. Mamoswine is a good raid attacker. Same with Electivire and their shadow forms, but they're still useful to get in this form as well. And Dragalge, I just want to get as a shiny in the wild. I think that would be absolutely amazing. And Dragonite is really a Swiss Army knife. It's useful in so many different ways, so I would get it, and it'd just be iconic to get a wild shiny Dragonite. Now, we scroll down a little bit, and you can see just all the other stuff. You got Drillbur in Dynamax raids as well as Excadrill, both can be shiny, so best of luck with that, and then Gigantamax raids and everything. So we also got raids, which is interesting. You're going to have Scolipede, Luxray, Venusaur, and Electivire in raids. These will be mighty Pokemon, so you can use it. But one last thing I want to talk about is Safari Balls and just in general how they work. Well, first things first, I will say if you buy a ticket, I think there's extra research for some of them and all that kind of stuff. But I will say you will get Safari Balls every hour. So you get a replenished supply every single hour. And this is important because, well, you're going to need it. Trust me, these Safari Balls are much needed for these mighty Pokemon. You cannot catch them basically without it. Like you can, but I'm going to be honest, it's really difficult. So be careful maybe with using your Safari Balls early. Like, just be a little bit safe with them and a little bit careful in the beginning. When I did the first hour, I only caught what I absolutely wanted. And then I had double for the second hour so I could catch a little bit more. And then basically to the last 3 hours, I had double or triple the normal amount. And I could just go ham, cheese, and sandwiches on them. Obviously, if your friend catches a hundo, feel free to use the Safari Balls on that and, you know, all that kind of stuff. But basically, I would go into it, if you're going to play in a group, have one person catch each Pokemon, but you guys swap which person is catching them. So you see Electivire in this corner and a Venusaur in that corner. Your friend catches the Venusaur, you catch the Electivire. You guys let each other know in the IVs, and you go about it that way. That's how I would do it. But you guys let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of these mighty Pokemon and everything. Honestly, I love this event. I cannot wait for you guys to experience it. I played it in the in-person event, and I can't wait to experience it again for Global. And I can't wait to take you guys alongside the journey. Again, we're going to be live for the entire event, all 11 hours of it, or however long we plan on being live. I don't know. We're going to go from 6 a.m. before the event even starts, or 7 a.m. I don't even know, because I think the event starts at 10 a.m. Global, because it's 8 a.m. for Fukuoka. But regardless, we're going to be up and early. We're going to be doing raids. We're going to be doing everything we can in our power, and we're going to be going absolutely ham, cheese, and sandwiches. Can't wait to see you guys in the stream. Hopefully you guys are ready now for the event, and hopefully my advice helped at least a little bit. Let me know in the comments down below what you're most excited for. Make sure to leave a like, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next one. Oh, peace.